there everybody, how's it going? It's Jessie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff, and I am coming to you on this very rainy, very gray Tuesday, April 25th, my birthday, 2017, to share with you my mania plans. I'm not going to talk about my birthday. It's been kind of a low-key, quiet day so far. We are going out to dinner tonight for my birthday, but just kind of chilling and taking it easy, as one should for their birthday if they are so inclined. So that's what I'm doing. But I have been wanting to film my mania plans for like 2 months now. They haven't been set in stone for that long. I have been contemplating and rewriting and changing things up until probably yesterday. But the final things that I needed came in yesterday, and I figure, to hell with the weather, I'm going to film, and we're going to rely on some false light, and we'll get through it. Stitch Maynia was born 2015 between the heads of Garrett, who is Coffee Stitcher here on YouTube, and also a woman named Angie, who has, I guess you could say, she's retired from FlossTube. And their original plan was 15 new starts in the first 15 days of May. And this being the third year, things have evolved quite a lot. And now it's not just 15 starts in 15 days, it's make it your own, but make it manic. So I know that some people will work on 15 whips. Some people will make a new start every few days. Some people will have the full 15. Some people will go above and beyond. Last year I did 36 starts in 31 days. I know that Kate, the Queen of Starts, is looking at doing 62 starts this year. She's doing 2 a day. Okay, go girl. Katie, the Stash Queen, does 37, the same number of new starts as years that she's turning. So she's turning 37 this May, so she's starting 37 projects. And then there's also this method that has been, that needs to be trademarked, and it is the Blimey Cat method, created by Brittany from Blimey Cat Stitches on FlossTube. And essentially, it means that last year, if you had a new start that you finished, then this year you get a new start. If last year you had a new start that you haven't finished, then you work on that project that day. And I love this. I love this idea, because it's still this daily rotation. You still get new starts in, but last year Mania doubled my whip count. And I've said it a few times on my channel as of late that I've been wanting to whip down. So having this alternate where I can start some things that I really want to start, but also still be whip focused, it's so perfect. So Brittany, thank you for developing your Blimey Cat method. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Yeah, very, very cool. So today, what I'm going to show you is we're going to run through Mania for me. And I'm going to show you if I started a project last year and I finished it. If I've got the finish, I'm going to show you that. If I started a project and I haven't finished it, I'll show you where I'm starting. I'm going to show you my new starts and fabrics, and we'll go ahead and get through it. So, one thing that I did want to say is that this year I'm not doing 31 days. I'm doing technically 19, but officially 17 because it's 2017. So I took my Mania from last year up through May 17th and put together my plan from that. And then there are 2 other days where I have a couple of projects planned, because Sarah from Tipsy Stitcher and I, and several others I think, are doing a Mirabilia Mania, where basically we're starting a bunch of mirrors. And I've taken it a step further because I have a thing for alliteration and consonation. I'm doing, I think I called it Manic Mirabilia Monday Mania, or something like that. Something with a lot of M's. Stitch Maynia starts next Monday, and I'm doing this Manic Mirabilia Monday Mania. all of the M's. Okay, so shall we get started? Let's get started. Full disclosure, by the way, before I do get started, Thor is here. He's welcome to come and visit, but he just dozed off. So we'll see if he makes an appearance. My sunshine-loving bulldog is very unhappy with the weather. I'm happy. I love rainy weather, but he's missing the sunshine. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I've got my list here, just to keep me on track with what dates and things, because I had a couple of days where I started a couple things. So on May the 1st last year, I started May by the Cricket Collection, and I finished it. So here is May, all finished up. Since that is finished and completed, signed, where did my signature go? Oh, there it is. Signed and everything, I get a new start. And I am starting a memorabilia that's not very popular. I gotta tell you, a lot of the mirrors I'm starting aren't ones that I see very often. And this is an older one. This is the Garden Muses. And this is memorabilia design number 44. And I absolutely adore this design. So this is my first one. Tentatively, I am starting it on Under the Sea Fabrics 32 count Belfast in Evergreen. It's showing up way more blue. This lighting is going to be terrible. Evergreen, it's like a bluey green. That's closer. It's not quite like that. I'm saying that this is my tentative fabric because I'm a little concerned that it's too dark. So we'll see. I've got some fabric options to play with, but currently I'm going to go with this, and we'll see what happens. I think there's enough contrast in the colors, but I guess we'll see. Okay. I'm going to have to do this the quick and easy way. Okay, next on May the 2nd, I started Mill Hill's Blue Ridge Santa from their Appalachia Santas collection, and I did finish that, so I'm going to insert a picture of the finished object here so that you can see what it looked like all done, which means I get another new start. And so this year, I am starting Stitch Maynia's Santa Coming to Town. So here's what that will look like finished. And I am stitching this on a 32 count Belfast in Ice Crystals by Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. Just a nice, soft, wintry blue color. So there's that. Okay, next on May the 3rd last year, I started Liz Ullman's Christmas Star, and I told you guys a few times that this design is something that I repeated 4 times for my one finish, and so there's that. Still on the hanger. And by the way, I didn't mention the fabric here, but it is a 28 count cashel linen in Antique White by Zweigart. It's the same fabric as for May. I just stitched them both on the same fabric. And so on May the 3rd this year, I will be starting this design here, if I can get it open. I will be starting Good Coffee and Friends. And I'm starting with the coffee grounds. This is a series of 6. You can see them along the top there. And I'm going to stitch all 6, 2 rows of 3. And then I'm going to turn it into, tentatively, if I can figure out a way to do it, like a coffee server. Now that is a kit that, it's a Mill Hill kit, but it's a Debbie Mum kit, so it's a lot of thread, not a whole lot of beads. So I think it'll be okay underneath some plastic for a coffee server. But in order to stitch all 6 of them, it comes with 16 count Aida. I'm not doing that. I have, gosh, it's shown up very purple. It is like a chocolatey brown. This is a 32 count Belfast in Lupine by Picture This Plus. I was going to do it on Mama Bear by Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie, but I ran out of time and there's no way that she could get it to me in time, so we're going to go with Lupine, which I was able to get from 123 Stitch. Speaking of 123 Stitch, I have a question. On my 123 Stitch orders as of late, I have asked them to surge, but I wonder if they're doing that automatically these days. If anybody can let me know, that'd be cool. So there's Lupine for Good Coffee and Friends. Okay. Next, on May the 4th, may the 4th be with you. Last year I started BB-8 by Leah Patterns, and I started that on, let me think, 32 count Tarnish. And I have not finished this. However, I am giving myself a new start this day because I'm not going to finish it. This is a UFO, and I'm going to tear out those stitches because I have since found a different Star Wars design series that I like better, so this one is not happening. So I'm letting myself have a new start. My new start this year is going to look very familiar, and it is from Stitch Line, and it is in the Star Wars Sugar Skull series, and this year I'm starting C-3PO. And I am stitching it just like the Darth Vader counterpart on 32 count Belfast in Vintage Stormy Clouds. This is by Zweigart. It's a printed fabric, so there's that sort of modeling on the front, and then it's plain and boring on the back. And 123 Stitch didn't have any of this in stock, so I ordered it from a seller on eBay who is based in Novi, Michigan, actually, which is where I used to live. So yeah, there is that. And you will have seen a preview at some point of what the Sugar Skull C-3PO will look like. So there you have it. Okay. Next, on May the 5th. May the 5th for me was a double start day, and I have finished neither of them, so both of them will make an appearance. The first is Faces of Fairy 201 by Jasmine Beckett Griffith. This is a Heaven and Earth design. And that is what she will look like finished. And here's where I am currently. If you can hear Thor, he is sniffing around. He's very close to the computer right now. He might even sneak in and make an appearance. So that's where I'm at with Faces of Fairy, with just the first page done. Hoping to crack on and get the second page done next month. This is going to be one of my focus pieces outside of Mania. Okay. Up next, like I said, it's going to look familiar. This is the Darth Vader Sugar Skull, which I also started on May the 5th. It was sort of like a Return or Revenge of the Sith, Revenge of the 5th kind of thing. And this is also on that Vintage Stormy Clouds by Zweigart. Preview of what it will look like finished. Here is where I'm at currently. And I didn't mention it, but I'm stitching all of these, the entire series, with DMC 37.99. Next year I have the Stormtrooper to start, and I have enough of that Vintage Stormy Clouds fabric. Okay, up next on the 6th of May, last year I started the Cross Stitch Lever by Ursula Michael, and it was from Just Cross Stitch January, February 2016. I did indeed finish this one. And here is the finished piece. I subbed out all of the colors for Weeks Dye Works and Petite Treasure Braid. And I think this brown I did a Classic Colorworks, but I'm not entirely sure. It's in my notes somewhere. The fabric is a 32 count Belfast in cream by Zweigart. Okay, since I finished that, I get a new start. And the new start that I'm making is a Joan Elliott, and it is from her Fairy Enchantment book with all of these on the back. And the one that I'm starting is this one in the top corner here, called Once Upon a Time. Let me see if I can open up to the bigger one. Okay. So that is the whole design. Very, very cute. Although the little fairy's hand is going to have to be retired a little bit because that's a little creepy. And I will be stitching this on a piece of 32 count Belfast from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie in Iris. It's not that blue. There's some strong, well, it is that blue, but there are some good hints of purple and green and some lighter spots. Yeah, that color is not quite right. But it's going to go on that. Okay. Next, on the 7th, last year I started Stony Creek's Birds of the Month series, the May Eastern Bluebird, and I finished that as well. This is on a 28 count cashel linen in Fog by Picture This Plus. And I changed some things about this, most notably in the wording. So there's that. Since that was a finish, I get a new start. And I think that this is a double start day for me this year. Yes, it is. Okay, so I am starting first. These are both Kohler designs. The first is the Summer Sampler. Now, most people get this in a kit distributed by Janlin. I ordered mine from the Kohler Design Studio website in PDF, just the chart. So that was pretty cool. There are a lot of blended threads and quarter stitches and fun things going on in here. Looking forward to starting that. So I will be stitching that on 32 count Belfast in cream by Zweigart. Quite boring, but that's okay. It just needs to be some sort of color. I was going to use a white, but it needs some sort of color because it does utilize the background a little bit. Okay, and then my second start that day is also Kohler Design Studio. Originally, I hadn't planned on starting a second project this day. However, I thought I'm doing the Blimey Cat method, which means that I was inspired by Brittany, and so I thought, well, I'm going to be enabled by Brittany too. And so I am starting something from this book here. This is Carousel Horses in Cross Stitch by Donna Kohler. And I just got this the other day. There's a sticker on there for $1.50. That's what I paid for it. Amazon Marketplace. And it's in really good condition. There's no highlights. There's definitely some shelf wear, but nothing major. And Brittany's birthday is in January. And so I'm going to be starting January. Now, this book has one carousel horse and some little extras like sweater patterns. It's an old book. It's like from the early 90s. For every month of the year. And so I'm going to start with January, which is, it's kind of fantasy themed, which I love, love, love. So there is that. Yeah, that's going to be pretty. It calls for stitching 3 strands over 2, but I'm probably going to do 2 strands, and there's a lot of blended threads in this one as well, including some Krennic. So, there's that. And I'm stitching that on 28 count cashel linen in antique white by Zweigart. So last year on May 8th, I had started Mill Hill's Christmas letter, and that is a project that I finished. And so there we have it, all finished up. Not quite FFO'd yet. Still have to back it and turn it into an ornament for Christmas this year. But there we have it. Now, May 8th this year is a Monday, and so I'll be starting a Mirabilia. And the Mirabilia I'm starting is a project that I have been coveting for a very long time. And I'm very excited to start it. So I will be doing Seaside Kingdom by Mirabilia. There's that. And I'll be stitching this on 32 count Belfast by Under the Sea Fabrics in Beach Walk. That's shown up pretty accurate there. So there's that. I'm so excited to finally start this. I bought this chart a couple years ago. I paid way too much for it, but to me it felt worth it. Because it's an out of print, hard to find chart. So say lovey. All right. That is that. Next, on May the 9th, last year I started Donna Stitch's Beauty and the Beast. And I haven't finished this yet, so I'll be working on it on this day. Okay. And so this is what this will look like finished. Gorgeous Beauty and the Beast. And I am stitching this on a 32 count Belfast in Cream by Zweigart. And that's all I've done in a year. Among like a million other things, but besides the point. So there is that. So I'll give this that day. Okay. Next, on May the 10th, last year I started a freebie from Cottage Garden Samplings called Halloween. And I stitched this on a 28 count Lugana in Murky by Picture This Plus. And I finished it. Very small, huge, gigantic waste of fabric. I'm going to have to get some other Halloween ornaments to use some more of this fabric up because that's silly. But there's that. And so, on May the 10th this year, I will be starting a Heaven and Earth design. And this one is Alice in a Dolly Dream by Jasmine Beckett Griffith. There she is. And I will be stitching her on 25 count, easy count Lugana from Zweigart. I'm so excited to start her, you guys. Can't wait. I'm going to start in the top corner, so immediately into some confetti. That's okay. Okay. Next, on May the 11th of last year, I started Mirabilia's The Queen Mermaid. And I haven't finished her yet. This is another out-of-print chart. Not as hard to find. There she is. And I started her on 32 count Belfast in As You Wish by Under the Sea Fabrics. Whoop, that's the back. There we go. It is not that bright blue. It's much more sky blue with some hints of green in there. But that's where I'm at currently. So I will work on her for a day. Okay, next, last year on May the 12th, I started Marie Barber's The Graceful Reindeer, which came out of Just Cross Stitch November-December 2015. And this is one of those projects that I did indeed finish. So this is on a 32 count Belfast in Rosewood by Picture This Plus. This is that fabric that never shows up properly. It is more of a bubblegum pink, like a dark mauve-y kind of pink. but I did finish that. So that means I will get a new start. Now, the start that I am probably going to do on this day hasn't been released yet. And it is by Satsuma Street, and it's from her new, yes, I have that right. It's from her new Zodiac series, and her Taurus is getting ready to release any day now. I would expect within the first few days of May, at the very latest. She has released some sneak peeks on her Instagram, and so my plan tentatively is to start Taurus on the 12th. However, I will say that if it's not released by the 12th, then I'm going to start Capricorn, which is Danny's zodiac. And the fabric that I think, this is kind of like an up in the air kind of project. The fabric that I think I'm going to use is that Tarnish by Picture This Plus that my BB-8 was on. So I'm going to rip out those stitches and put the zodiac on that. She typically calls for either a black or a white fabric, so I think that this sort of stormy looking gray color will look really nice for that. So that's my plan there. So I have an empty envelope just ready. Okay. Next, on May the 13th, 2016, last year I had a double start day. Memory serves, this was it was a Friday, so it was a Friday the 13th. And I have finished neither of my projects for that day. So the first project I started was Stony Creek's Flower of the Month. They're violet. So this is what the project will look like finished. I have not worked on this since Mania. And I don't know which way is up. So there's some stitches in there, but I don't know where I'm at in the pattern. I'm going to have to figure that out so that I can work on this on that day. And the other project that I started, because it was Friday the 13th, was Clouds Factory's Horror Movie Alphabet. And you'll be seeing a preview here of what this will look like finished. I'm stitching this on 32 count Belfast in Lycan's Moon by Under the Sea Fabrics. Lovingly referred to as dried blood. So there's that. So I'll work on this for an hour or so. Looking forward to getting back to this. Dark 13 stitching, I can finally participate because I remembered. Gosh, that's sad. Okay, next on the 14th, May the 14th, last year I started Mill Hill's Merry Moose, and that was a gift, so I'll insert a picture of the finished object here because I did finish that. So I'm getting a new start again this year, and so I will be starting probably, and I say probably because I'm waiting to see if this designer releases anything new between now and then. If she releases the Pocahontas or Alice in Wonderland between now and then my plan is totally switching up. However, I haven't seen hide nor hair of her in a very long time, so not sure what's going on there, but it is Donut Stitch. And so if they're not released, I'll be starting Aladdin by Donut Stitch. And this is a black and white version, but it is full color. And like Beauty and the Beast, I'll stitch this on a 32 count Belfast in cream. I don't have it yet. I have to go get it. But there is that. Okay. Next, May the 15th. May the 15th is another Monday. And last year I started Wee Little Stitch's Big Bang Theory. And this is another project that I did finish. So that works out very nicely. This I stitched on a 32 Belfast in Dill by Picture This Plus. And I finished it earlier this year. Very, very quick project. I am replacing it with something that is not a very, very quick project. And this is a Mirabilia that I have not seen anywhere before. So I'm like kind of geeked because there's something about starting something that everybody else has already done. I say that, but I have another project in here that everybody's done. Anyway, this is really exciting to me. So this is something that I got in the mail recently that I haven't showed you guys before. It is Mirabilia Design number 86. And it is Garden Beauty. And I saw her, I don't know, by chance. I don't even know what I was looking for, but I just fell in love with this design. Absolutely love her. There are DMCs, beads, and one Krennic, and that's about it. So, very excited to start her. Choosing a fabric for her was mission impossible. I was having a terrible time. I thought about doing a soft green. I thought about doing the called for. But what I ended up choosing instead was from Stash because I was trying to work from Stash as best I could. And this is a 32 Belfast from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And this is Caradwen. So it is like garden greens and pinks, and I think that this is going to be really gorgeous for this. Now here's the sort of caveat to everything. Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie, the fabric of the month for April is called Sassenach. And it is also a very sort of like meadowy greens with some colors mixed in. It's Outlander inspired, makes me very happy. I don't know what that looks like in person yet, so what may happen is that I may use that for Garden Beauty, depending on what it looks like, and then use this for Garden Muses, because I am concerned about just the depth of color that is in that evergreen. I'm concerned that it's too much. So I may go with something a little bit softer, something that will help the colors shine a little bit, but it's all dependent on Sassenach. So we shall see. Cannot wait for that fabric to come in, and I cannot wait for Stephanie to put it on her website so that I can order all of it, because hello gorgeous. Okay, so that is my Monday the 15th start. Okay, coming down to the end here. On May the 16th last year, I started a very small freebie from Chatelaine, and it was the Easter egg. I believe it was the 2009 Easter egg. And I say very small, and I mean it. It's teeny. So I finished this probably in a total of maybe 2 hours working. Very, very quick. And this is on a very tiny piece of 32 Belfast in cream by Zweigart. So that's what I started on the 16th last year. The 16th this year, I'm starting something very exciting, but also big questions. Okay, so I am starting Firewing Designs, and I'm starting Paladin. Sorry for the glare. Okay, so I'm going to end up doing 3 dragons from Firewing Designs. And all 3 of them will fit on this one piece of fabric. And this one piece of fabric is 32 count Belfast in Khaleesi by Under the Sea Fabrics. I'm so stoked to get to use this, you guys. I can't even tell you. I absolutely love it. Okay. And so the 3 dragons that I'm going to do are based on Daenerys Targaryen's 3 dragons. And they are Viserion, is it Rhaegal, I believe is the dragon's name, and then Drogon. And they are named after her brother Viserys. Again, Rhaegal is named after her older brother Rhaegar, maybe? It'll be down here. And then Drogon is named after her deceased husband, Khal Drogo. So each of these 3 dragons have very specific coloring. Viserion which is who I have decided is going to be Paladin, is, he is called the White Dragon, but he's more cream colored with like gold accents. I'm having a hard time figuring out what thread I'm going to use for this, because if he's going to be Viserion, then I'd like to be able to use a cream or a white or something. I don't know if that's going to work for this fabric. So I have some floss arranging to do to play with it and see if it's going to work. But Firewing Designs has 3 dragons that are in this horizontal perspective with very different expressions, and Viserion is one of her more tame dragons, so I thought that this was a good one. So I'm so excited about this, you guys, but I just don't know what I'm going to do. I think that as far as fabric orientation is concerned, I'm going to do Viserion at the top, and then Rhaegar, I can't remember, it's so terrible, and then the crazy intense Drogon down here, because the fabric gets a little wild down there. And Drogon is a black dragon, so he can pretty much go anywhere and it will be just fine. And Rhaegal is a dark, I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time. It's a dark green. So again, he can go anywhere. So I need to make sure that I'm placing Viserion in the right spot. So there is that, and I will stop discrediting myself on Game of Thrones knowledge. Oh, that's bad. Okay. To be fair, it's been a long time since I've read the book or seen the movies, or the shows. Okay. Next, May the 17th, which is the last day of my official Mania, or the last day of official Mania before my bonus projects. So on the 17th last year, I had a double start day. This is ironic. And the first was Elizabeth by Glendon Place. And so that is what this project will look like finished. And I haven't quite finished this project yet. So here is where I'm at currently. Absolutely gorgeous. This is a 32 count Belfast in Buttercup by Under the Sea Fabrics. So that will get some progress on that date. And then my second start for the day was Clouds Factory Game of Thrones house banners. Yeah, that's bad. And there's the Targaryen there down at the end. So this is, I started this on 28 count Cashel in Ale by Picture This Plus. And this project is going to be huge. So I started over here with Stark. Yeah, I made not a ton of progress, as you can see. So I will work on this for a little bit on that day. Okay, so that is it for that. Now, on the, let me think here. Yes, okay. On the 22nd, that is Katie the Stash Queen's birthday, so I'm having another double start day. Because it's a Monday, I let her pick my Mirabilia for that day. So, my Mirabilia for that day is Portrait of Veronica on 32 count Belfast in mint. Again, much softer than that. It's really like a soft Tiffany blue, not a hardcore Tiffany blue. Love this fabric. I'm so excited to get to play with it. So there is that. My second project for Katie's birthday is a little complicated. So I'm going to be starting Around the World in 80 Stitches by Papillon Creations, aka hashtag not a heart, because I give Katie a lot of flack for this project. This is one of her starts from last year. I'm not sure if it was a Maynia start or otherwise, but I'm going to be starting this on her birthday. And so this is what the first two parts looked. And basically, the reason that this is nicknamed Not a Heart is that at the time, this is all she had done on this side of my hand. And it's suggestive, shall we say. I was like, Katie, that's not a heart, sweetheart. And so now it's a running joke. So my plan is to start this. However, the fabric that I ordered for it, I ordered from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie in Friendship Green, which I think is just perfect because we have this running joke, and it's Friendship Green. So it's this beautiful, very soft green. But it is a hand-dyed fabric, and they're dyed to order, so it may not be here in time. If it's not, then I will just start this belated, and that will be fine. So, tentatively, that project. Fingers crossed it gets here in time. That would be really cool. But we'll see. And then, on the last Monday of the year, which I think is the 29th, I will be starting a more popular Mira. Aphrodite Mermaid. Gorgeous, gorgeous girl. You know what I see when I look at this? That's a lot of skin. But that's fine because she's going to be gorgeous. And I will be stitching this on a fabric by Under the Sea Fabrics, 32 Belfast in Keone. And I think she's going to look really good on that. The bottom of this piece is darker, so I think I'm going to put that at the bottom. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. Very pretty. So that is my Maynia. Very exciting. So, all in told, it's 19 days, 24 total projects that I'll be working on, 16 of which are new starts. And I'll be honest, it's not sitting so well with me, 16, because it's 2017. So I should be starting a 17th project, shouldn't I? Maybe. I have something in the works that I am not at liberty to discuss currently, but it may be my 17th start. We will play it by ear. If it comes to fruition, I will let you know, but at the time, as of now, we'll see. So if that's not enough mystery for you, then I don't know what is. Sorry to be stringing you along on a leash like that, but there you have it. So that's all I've got for you today. Regularly scheduled update, which is really just going to be my birthday sale recap. That should be coming tomorrow afternoon, give or take. And yeah, so I've got a ton of kitting to do. Four and a half of these are kitted already. So I've got what, 10 and a half, 11 and a half to go. Yeah, I need to get to work. And I've got decisions to make because even still in this 11th hour, I'm undecided on a few things. So I am going to sign off here. I thank everybody so much for watching. Thank you for all of your birthday wishes. So far it's been a really great birthday. Just exactly as I would want it. Chill, talking about Maynia. There will be excellent food and coffee later on in my day. I'm excited. So thank you so very much, and I will see you in the next one. All right, bye y'all.